Today I'm going to show you how you can add and set up an e-signature field using Corvid. Hey, what's up you guys? Thanks for tuning in with your boy Nino, and I got a tutorial today for you guys on how you can add and set up an e-signature field. Now, I just thought about it to myself like, what type of form would you have in order to get a electronic signature, okay? And what I was thinking was an employee onboarding form, okay, that you can actually have this on your website. And so I just mocked up this like very quick form. Now, granted, some of y'all's forms will be a little bit longer, but this is just a tutorial just to give you a little brief of how you can use signatures, okay? How you can use the electronic signature input and the best way possible to store this information, which is in the Wix collection here, in this Wix database, all right? They used to call it collections, so that's why I said collections, sorry, but it is actually databases. Okay, so what I did here, just to give you some context, is that I created all of these inputs, okay? These are all of my text inputs. So in order to get to that, you just click this add button here, and then you'll just hover over top of text input, okay? And then also, just how it was showing before, in order to get to your electronic signature input, you just scroll down here to a signature input, and that is here located in the input section, okay? Now, once I finished doing that and I tailored it to, you know, the likeliness that I wanted it to, like the design and everything, and easily you can do that by clicking design. It has the same type of design features as an input text box would have, so I'm not going to really go into detail about that, but as you can see, you can customize that design. Also, you can change out the layouts however you want the text alignment to be. That means like this type of text here. If you want the field padding to be a certain space, then go ahead and be my guest and tailor that to your likeliness, okay? As you can see, you have your settings here. You can actually include a field title, or you can include a clear signature button, okay? You can actually make sure that this thing is required, which we're going to turn on, okay? And the reason why we're going to turn that on is because we want them to fill in everything and also give a signature to basically, you know, sign and date. You know, the date's already going to be in there once we store it into the database, but it just gives you a sense of clarity, like making sure that everything is valid and everything goes through correctly. Okay, so I guess that is about it. All I need to do is add a really quick text that would actually show any type of, you know, errors. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and completely add that real quick. I think that's too big, so I'm gonna just bring it down a little bit more, and I'm gonna make it white text. All right, so boom, there we have it. Now I'm gonna bring this down to the bottom here. Okay, then we're going to edit this code here, edit this text, and we're gonna say error message. All right, so now that we got the error message all figured out, now what it is that we're about to do is get into the code. All right, so give me 1 second and we'll get started with that. All right, so now all you have to do is come over here to open up your Wix Page Code. Okay, and what I want to do here is I want to have a Wix on ready function, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and say we're going to automatically import Wix data, okay? Because that's what we're going to be playing with. That's how we use Corvid, okay? And so we're going to get this module and we're going to pull this and extract all of the different types of things that we need out of it in order to save all of the information that we have on our form. Okay, so all I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in some code real quick, so you guys just give me a quick second as I do that, and then I'll further explain it some more once it's in there. Okay, so just give me a second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and maximize this a little bit so that you can actually see the actual code that's transpiring here, and then I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about the code in order to trigger this stuff. Okay, so right here, as you can see, I just created a quick validation check. So this is actually checking to see if all of these inputs are completed and filled in. If these are all completed and has information in it, then all it's going to do is going to go straight to my save function. And you might want to ask, you're like, why do you have it in functions? Why don't you put it into, you know, the buttons on click function? Well, this gives you an option to actually have the button complete this action or something else. Okay, so you don't actually have to always just leave it inside and be contained into this on click event. Okay, you don't have to do that. In order to give you some more, you know, autonomy to what your function is doing, you should make it on its own. Okay, and I highly suggest that for any type of function or any type of saving parameter that you may have, because maybe you want to have, you know, somebody click submit and then it goes through a different type of function in order to save that information. Well, here, that is what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to the button on click by clicking this, and it's going to go straight down here, and I'm going to go ahead and put in validation. Okay, that way this is running that validation function that I have up here, and it's actually going through the checks that I have set up here. It's actually trying to check input 1, input 2, input 3, 4, and the signature input. Okay, now in order for you to actually make these required, just like I did with the signature beforehand, where you go to your settings and it says required, just click that button. Okay, if you want all the fields to be required, you style it up the way you want. Okay, valid is actually indicating if it's checking to see if that value is valid, okay, based on the parameters that are set within the settings. Okay, so you go to your settings, you come down here, it says required. Okay, so as we can see, we have this stuff in the validation, okay, code. All right, I'm gonna actually put this onto my website, so go ahead and check that out, and also check out some other things about databases and how to manage your database. I have that in the right hand corner as I speak right now. Go ahead and check that out if you want to learn more about data collections or databases. Whatever they say it is, it's also just a database. Okay, it's just a database that you keep your information there. All right, so essentially I made that validation. Okay, what I did was, if everything is true, everything is valid, it's going to go ahead and save that employee's info. Okay, but if it doesn't, it's going to go through all of these little checks that I have here. Okay, it's going to check and see if the person put in the first name, the person put in the last name, and email, if you can see it. Hold on, give me a second. Click off of that. As you can see, an email, it's going to go through the address, and then also it's going to look at the signature. Okay, and that is all of these if statements right here. And the reason why I put these exclamation points right here is so that it can get the opposite of it. So basically, if we were checking up here to see if it was true or not, right? If all of them show false, or at least one of them show false, because we have this and statement here, it's actually collecting all things. Okay, so it's going to say true, 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 and then if this is false, then it's going to say false here, and it's going to say true, which all of them together collectively in an and operator will actually pull back false. Okay, because it's saying and, not or. Or means that you can choose one or the other, but with an and property, you have to have all be true. So what it's doing here is doing the opposite of this false statement. Wherever I said it was false, like for input 4, I said it was a false one. Okay, so true, it wouldn't do this because it was the opposite of true is false, so it wouldn't even run this. Then this will be false again, and then this will be false, but this will be true because evidently it was the false parameter that was in here, the false element. And so it's going to display this message. It's going to say, please enter an address. Okay, and then it's going to skip to the next line. This means enter. So when you're like typing things and you press enter, that's actually the next line segment. Okay, so this is how you can say next line within the text field. All right, and then all you have to do is just connect that text box, or excuse me, not text box, but that text element right here, text 81, and label it to validation message. Okay, as you can see up here, I have made validation method, validation message at the top of this if else statement. Okay, but it's hiding within the function, so that every time the function is called, it automatically wipes out this message and it produces a new message if it were to go through another error. Okay, so as you can see, I have the text 81 to show, and then also it's going to update the validation, okay, the validity indication. All right, and that means specifically it's just going to show up the error design that I made, which is red in this case. It can be different colors for you guys, so you go ahead and design it the way you want it. But as for me, I designed it to be red, so it's going to show up red. After we go through the validity check, it's going to go straight to save employee info, and this is where the juicy part comes in. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and grab the actual signature. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this signature and place that as its own parameter. Okay, and let's just label it the signature. Okay, I'm getting this information from the corvid references, so if you really want to go and dig deeper into the different types of ways that you can use your signature, you might as well head on over to corvid help, and then all you have to do is just click API references right there and it will help you out. But in a way, I'm doing more than just that. I'm showing you guys how you can conduct validity, and then also how you can send it up to the database. So this is going to be our to insert JSON. Okay, and this is going to have first name, last name, email, address, signature. Okay, and this is going to be inserted into our employee form database. All right, and this is going to be the JSON that goes in there. Once that JSON goes in there and it gets completed, then we're going to run a then, which is going to give us back our results in real time, and then we're going to display this message saying your signature and information was sent in, thank you, and we will be back with you shortly. Okay, and then after 5 seconds here of a timeout, after the box has shown, we're going to go ahead and hide that. Okay, they don't need to see the message anymore. All right, and also what we're going to do here is we're going to clear that information out. So we're going to say clear all elements, and I'll show you more about that here. Okay, so basically if this actually comes to be an error where it can't save, we're gonna get this error message. Okay, so what we want to do is in this testing mode right now, which we're going to be showing it on to our preview mode, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get that error message. Okay, so that way when I preview this and it actually gives me an error, I can actually know what's going on before my visitor even sees that. Okay, because I previewed it here. So once you put that down here, now we're gonna go over to clear all elements. Okay, and then with clear all elements, what it's doing is it's just clearing all of that stuff that you have put in. Okay, so that means all of the information has been saved, and so now we want to go ahead and clear that information. So as you can see, I put this inside the timeout, which I should actually be putting it outside the timeout. And the reason for that is you don't want you don't want your information to be shown while it's saying your signature and information was sent in. Okay, that information is still there. That means you can actually click this submit button one more time, which that is not really going to be the case. All right, and also if we want to break that or make that the ability for them not to make that happen, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and just disable it. So as soon as we get into this function, we should be able to disable that button. All right, because once the button has been clicked, let's go ahead and disable it. All right, just to show the end user that it's saving. All right, so we'll disable that. And then what we'll do here is, upon having the results be sent back to us, we're going to go ahead and enable that. All right, and we're going to enable that button so that then they can click it again. But let's go ahead and move that down a little bit after we clear all elements. That way we can assure that all of this information has been sent, and also you can submit another form now. All right, so let's go ahead and format that. I right clicked right there. You can do an AltF if you want, Control Alt F. So I just did some improvising right there. I think that looks good. Then we have our button to click, which is going to be for the validation, as I explained. So I guess everything right now looks very good. I don't even think we needed to go into the Wix on ready function, okay? But if you have anything that you would want to put in there, you could be my guest, all right? But for now, I'm just creating a simple form. Yeah, that's about it. All right, so I guess that is about it. I have everything here. I think that everything is going to go and flow the right way. Now let's go ahead and get into the backend, all right? And that is the database. So we'll head on over to database. If you don't see this side here and you're just wondering, what the heck, how did he get that on this side? Go ahead and click over here to dev mode, and then you're going to just turn the dev mode on. Then it's going to give you like a prompt of like telling you what dev mode is used for. Just go ahead and exit that out, and then just head on over to the database icon. Click the database, and then go to your database that you want, or that is set up. Now you can easily get to that as well at the content manager here, and then you can easily get to all of your other databases here. But in my way, I think it's a lot more helpful since you're gonna have all the coding and stuff like that show up here. So it's just a lot easier to go this way. So let's go ahead and head over to my employee form database. All right, so as you can see here, I set this employee form database up as having to get the email, the first name, the last name, the address, and then also the signature. Now this is the tricky part. Now people are like, where would the signature go? Like, where is it gonna go, right? Well, it's gonna go into the properties of a field type image, all right? Because that's gonna be an image of their signature. Once that thing gets saved in here, it's free game, okay? Now everything is good, everything is stored, everything is great. All right, so as you can see here, we have our email as a text, first name here as a text, last name here as a text, and address as a text. Now actually Wix gives you an option to encrypt these text fields, okay? And the reason for that is if you had any type of information that was personally identified, all right, you don't want that to be shown, then it's going to go ahead and block, okay, and lock it down. All right, so let's go ahead and click personal identifiable information. All right, so that's the email. And then we'll press back. We'll do the same thing for first name by clicking on these three dots, going to properties, and we're going to click that on. Now this content field is encrypted, just like that. Click save. I forgot to click save on the other one. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and go back and click save. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and do that for last name because that is personally identifiable information. This will actually help ensure that your information is tight and knit and basically secure. I don't think address needs that right now because this is just a tutorial. I'm just trying to give you guys a little glimpse of what it is on the back end. Also, cool thing, and definitely not relevant, but I like this little feature where you can hide the menu. It is so dope. Okay, I really do enjoy that feature because sometimes I just don't want to see that menu there. It's just like, why are you in my face? Anyways, all right, so let me go ahead and exit out of here. Okay, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna preview this thing. I think that all of my information is good to go. Let me go ahead and make sure I check this right here, all of my field type names. All right, it looks good. So let me go back to my employee form just to make sure that all of my field types are labeled that correctly. So I'm gonna go here, I see my field key as email. I'm gonna go to first name, see as it first name, great. Last name, great. Address, awesome. And then signature, awesome. So we have everything, the right capitalization on first name and last name, and then also everything else is the right characters. I think that this whole thing will work. If it doesn't, then we'll just go ahead and debug it. All right, so let's go ahead and click preview. And as you can see, this is my employee onboarding form. So I'm gonna enter my information, and I don't know why I just did it backwards, but you get the gist. Okay, so we're gonna say Nino at Nino.Nino. All right, and then we're gonna leave out the address just so that you guys can see for a fact that the validation works. All right, we're gonna go ahead and create our signature. I'm gonna clear that just to see that the clear is working. Okay, so I'm just gonna say C. God dog, I can't draw on here with this mouse. Okay, C N. Oh my god, that's an ugly N. Okay, anyways, let's just get away from that. All right, we're gonna click submit. Oh snap, it says please enter in an address. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and say not applicable. I don't know why somebody would say that, but you might as well go ahead and code it the way you want to so that this won't happen to you, that somebody puts in something other than an address. All right, but for this reason, it's just actually just trying to see if it's valid or not. So I think it would be valid. I'm gonna click off of it and I'm gonna click submit. And as you can see, I have an error. Okay, as you can see, my information has got saved. Okay, but as you can see, you cannot set the property value of signature input, which has only a getter. So essentially what we'll have to do is just clear this. All right, and I'll actually put into the code a little bit farther along to show you guys on my website the actual full code that actually works. But for now, that is it, I think, for this tutorial, because I'll just go ahead and put that into my notes. All right, and I'll make sure I figure that out for you guys so that then you all know actually how to clear this signature input. So let's go ahead and go back to the editor, and let's go ahead and check and see if that information has been saved in my database. So as you can see, my information has been saved into the database. And as you can see, this is actually been saved in white text, very slim white text. So if we go ahead and try to preview it, or you know what, we can't even do that. Yeah. So I guess evidently you can't see the signature right now because it's actually been signed in white. All right, but essentially the signature is there. Okay, it's a transparent PNG file. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Definitely give it a shot. If you have any questions, drop it below. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. And if you like this video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. All right, ciao.